Hello, this is Walter at Sinew and Steel. Cool. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the hip hinge. A lot of people have trouble with that, and there's different ways of teaching it. One thing you might want to do if you're having trouble with your hip hinge is the first thing is stretch your hip flexors. So if you don't know how to do it, just Google it. You'll find all kinds of information on it. If you know how to do it, do some hip flexor stretches. You want to loosen your hips up first. You might want to do a few hip circles, loosen them up a little bit more. Next thing you might want to try, never know what's out in the woods. Next thing you might want to try is some face the wall squats. That'll help you align your back properly, because if you're curving your back and flexing like this as you do a face the wall squat, it's going to whack you in the head. So, hip flexor stretch, hip circles, face the wall squat, just a couple sets of 10. You might want to do some goblet squats. That'll help you loosen your hips more, and when you get into the bottom of the goblet squat, and Dan John recommends these, and I highly recommend them. They're an awesome exercise. You should do them every day, at least a few sets. But squat down deep, try to pull your legs out of the socket, so to speak, as Pavel Tsatsouline says, and get some space in your hips. Maybe a couple sets of 5 to 10 of that. And the next thing you might want to do is some Bulgarian goat bag swings. Again, something that Dan John has come up with, and I highly recommend those. So you might want to do like a couple sets of 5 of all of that stuff. That'll really get your hips loosened up, warmed up, and then go into kettlebell swings if you're having issues with it. Kettlebell swings should never make you sore in your lower back. If they do, you're doing something wrong and you need to get it fixed. Getting sore in your hamstrings, that's okay, because we want to feel the load in our glutes and our hamstrings. I'm going to show you a little trick using a jump stretch band. You want to attach it to something like a Jeep bumper, doorknob, anything, upright pole. I'm going to step into this first. If you need to loop it around something, of course, loop it around first and then attach it. And this is called the band hip hinge, brought to you exclusively by me. So, if I try to squat my hinge when I have this band on here, notice what happens? Not a whole lot. The band, as you'll notice, is staying the same length. And this is the way some people try to swing. The swing is a swing, a squat's a squat, two different things, even though they both involve some hip hinging. What I want you to do is to cue in on making these bands longer. Stretch the bands out. How do you do that? By going backwards. So, stretch the bands out. Go backwards. If you can't feel it that well, get a heavier band or step back a little further to put more tension on this. You might need to adjust the band where it rests on your glutes, on your butt. Now you notice in this position, my shins are nearly vertical. This is a position I'm kind of in when I'm doing swings. So, it's like a swing. Make the bands longer, back flat, shins almost vertical. They might vary a little bit, but most of them, you want the main action in your hip hinge area. And I don't have to be able to go all the way down to the floor in order to do swings, because when I'm doing swings, I want the kettlebell down here, and then I pull it through. Down here, pull it through. So the bell of the ball is going to be around my knee area, or even up higher. So as Pavel Tsatsouline says, when the kettlebell is coming down, you're kind of aiming at your zipper, and you want to come down, and as that kettlebell comes here, then you hinge back quickly, like this. So, make the bands longer. That's how we swing. So, this is Walter. Sinew and Steel. Have an awesome day. Bulgarian, yeah.